Alright, hey guys, this is a video tutorial on how I do my rivets in all my scratch building work. So I've got a piece of plastic card here that I want to put rivets all the way around the edges of. Okay. What I use for them is a pin vise, like hobby drill, the standard one, and I use these things. They are sewing pins, the flat head on them. Don't know whether you can see that, but yeah, I use these because they've got a nice like rounded head, like a real rivet, and they're fairly easy to put in. Actually, I've tried using the small discs of plastic card method, and I've not really had any luck with that. So uh, anyway, this is how I do them. Okay, so what gonna want to do is get your 1mm tip drill bit in your pin vise. These pins are about I don't know, 3/4 of a millimeter diameter, so 1mm drill bit gives you plenty of room, so that when you put them in, they'll go in fairly easily. You don't have to hammer them in or anything, and you can drill, and you can get the glue in rather. Okay, so what you're gonna do, you got your 1mm drill bit here, your piece of plastic card, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna drill a hole where you want the rivet to be. So I'm just gonna drill a hole here quickly. Right, so I've got my little 1mm hole in the corner there. What I'm gonna do is get this dressmaking pin, and I'm gonna take a pair of clippers, and I'm gonna snip it off so that there's a very small amount left on the end. So you can still slot it in the hole, but there's not a great big huge long shaft of the pin that's sticking all the way out the other end of your plastic card. So you got this shortened piece. It's quite kind of fiddly to handle now because it's so small. You want to chop it off so there's about 3mm to about half a millimeter, to about half a centimeter rather, so that it's just not too fiddly to use. Otherwise you're going to need to use a pair of tweezers or something to hold them. It can get quite fiddly. Right, so you've got your chopped off pin here. And what you're going to do is you're going to just slot it in the hole like so. You don't have to glue it yet. You're going to add the glue after, because I find that's a lot easier. The glue doesn't dry on you whilst you're putting it in, and then you don't get a messy finish. So because you've got a 1mm hole and a 3/4 pin, you just dab on a tiny drop of super glue. Bloody thing's blocked. Just a sec. I'm gonna put a teeny wincy drop. on the neck, on the top of the pin, the plastic card. That super glue will dry pretty quickly, and if you've put a bit too much, you can clean it off in the usual way. This method, I really like it because it's quick, it's easy, it looks pretty good, pretty realistic as standards go, seeing as they do look like miniature rivets anyway, these little pins, dressmaking pins. The disadvantage with them, though, is if you're putting rivets in like some thin plastic card or something, you'll get a bit sticking out the back. Don't know whether you can see that. So shaft is sticking out the back. You'll either have to grind that off with a Dremel tool or something, or yeah, cut most of it off. And you can't put a rivet hole in the back, so it works best when you're putting on some, I don't know, some armor plate that's on something. Yeah, that's like a surface where you're not going to see the other side, and it works best in that situation. If you are going to see the other side, you're going to have to cut it off pretty short, and as I said before, you're going to need to use a little tiny pair of tweezers to put it in because it'll be really fiddly the shorter it is. And then for the other side, because you can't put a pin in the other side of the plastic card, you'll need to, I don't know, use a different method to make the other side of the rivet, if you want the other side to show like a convincing rivet, because they've got two ends. So post what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.